Hello guys, I'm Nagulmira Mahankali. I'm AI engineer and AI aspirant. Currently, I'm learning AI related technologies. So, as part of my learning, I would like to share whatever I learned. Such a way, you guys also can learn and then experience the whatever I have experienced. So, as part of LLM series, working with LLM series, I'm going to explain more on function call or tool call. So tool or function call is one of the key concept in learning LLMs or working with the LLM. So what are the tool or function calls, right? So we already know that generative AI or LLMs are kind of a trained on large set of data, and then it's a pre-trained models, right? So if you want to works LLM such a way it will get the up-to-date information, then tool or function call is like one of the key concept in LLM. So LLMs will use the tool or function call technique to interact with the external tools and APIs, and then such a way LLMs is able to provide you the up-to-date information to the user prompt or user ask. So this is called a tool or function call. So for example, we take the traditional LLMs, right? So as we know that it's already trained on the large set of data pre-trained model, so which will some point of times they might not have a up to date. So when you add this tool call to the LLM, it will interact with the our external tools like APIs and other related information in your private data, such a way it will provide you the up-to-date info. So the magic of LLMs, right? When a user asks for anything, will decide like that it should use the tool or it will answer from the pre-trained data. So that's how like a beauty of LLMs can decide like when to call tools and then how to use the tool. So that's how like we can utilize these tools to interact with your organization or private data, provide the up-to-date information, or like we can say like these LLMs are work on your data to provide you the answers or information specific to your needs. For example, take the example, right? If you ask for any weather information, instead of it guessing the weather, right, it will go and then fetch the real current weather, and then it will provide the answer for the user prompt, right? For example, last time I have given the human analogy to the understanding the AI, right? For example, if you think that LLMs are like a adult brain, so this adult brain may not have up-to-date information. So when somebody asks for like a some question, it will go and reach the some of the experts who knows that information, and it will get that information from the other person or other expert who has knowledge on that specific topic, and then pass the information to you. This is like a human analogy we can understand. So for example, LLMs can delegate the task to external tools when it does not have a answer itself, just like a adult asking the specialist, right? This is like a human analogy. You can understand the what is tool calls, what are the importance of these tool calls, right? Accuracy, right? So these LLMs will connect to the external tools such a way it will get the real-time data, accurate information from the external tool, such a way LLMs can provide you like a more relevant answer stuff it is going to hallucinate on something else. So that is like a one of the ability we can achieve through the tools. Another thing is like integration, right? For example, if you are running your organization, or if you have a lots of private data or lots of data in your database, right? So if you use these tools, right, you can connect to your private data so that LLMs can work on your private data, produce the better information based on your data or your private data. So that's how like if you want to integrate your tools in your organization specific tools, use this tool call or function calls to the LLMs so that it will provide the better answer. So LLMs actions, right? So LLMs can perform the task, not just like talk about them, right? These many days, right? For example, a chat GPT or anything, when you ask for something, is able to just give the text information on whatever the specific ask, right? But today, like if you ask anything LLM, it will connect to your tools, it will connect to your data. For example, if you want to execute some command in your system, right? So if you ask LLMs, right, it will go and execute your tool. As part of your tool, you already implemented how to run some specific command, but when you ask for hey, can you get my private data, then it will go and connect to your database and then give you the answer. That is called act. So instead of like just giving the response and all, today the ability of tools, it is able to connect to your organization specific information or any of the tools, it will able to run some action. It is called like a key benefits of using these tools. If you look at the real world use cases, right, customer support, right, so it means like query to the database and then get the order status and then update the tickets and the send these are like specific to your organization needs. So these LLMs might not aware of like what is happening in your organization, right, in general, because those LLMs already trained on pre-trained data, so which is really doesn't know about your organization specific information. So with the help of these tools, you could write some kind of a functions or APIs to interact with your database, interact with your inventory, or interact with your ticketing system, so that when you ask something about, hey, could you tell me, could you tell about this specific ticket status, then internally it will go and connect your ticketing system and then update the information as part of the LLM's chat trust. That's the beauty of like using the tools. So data analysis, right? For example, you have lots of data in your database. So today, like we are using so many tools to display charts or like to process the whatever the data in the database that is going to generate the reports, right? With the help of LLMs, right, you don't need to use any specific tools to generate this one. All you need to, like, you just ask like, can you display this data as a chart? Then what it will do, right? We already implemented a tool or kind of a API to interact with the database. It will get the data, then LLM able to process those raw data, and then it will provide like a nice charts or nice report for you. On top of that one, you can still ask some of the questions like can you explain this one, can you explain the what are the my top list orders and all. It will able to process the raw data, and then it will show you the as part of the chart response. So that's one of the benefit we can see as part of the data analysis. Automations, right? So for example, if you want to schedule your meetings, book an appointments, and then manage workflows, so all you need to, like, you can ask like a human like question, hey, can you schedule my meeting? Then internally it will go and connect to your calendar, and then via your API implementation it is able to set the meetings and all. And then research, right? Search web and retrieve documents, analyze the information, right? For example, you have lots of documents in your mission or in your database or wherever it is, data S3 store or wherever it is, right? So LLM doesn't know that information. So what we will do, we will use a tool call or function call. This function call, we already implemented some kind of a logic such as it will connect your internal documenting system, so that it will work on your documenting system. It will give the very relevant. These are like a key benefits when we work with the tools or function call. So formerly we are calling this as a function calling. Now we are calling it as a tool calling. So this is like one of the fundamental concept in LLM. So by using the tool calls or function calling, we can change the behavior of the LLMs. So now, like how we can define my tool and how to use as part of the LLMs, right? So this is like a simple tool definition. All we need to tell that, like, what is the type, nothing but it's a function, it's a default, and then as part of the function you need to explain your, like, what exactly your tool is doing, right? For example, the name, we have to provide the what is the tool name, and then as part of the description you need to write like what exactly your tool is doing. This is a very key for the LLMs to understand about the user intent. For example, you are asking for the weather, you just asking like human like language, but LLMs need able to properly go to your tools and then call the specific tools, right? To get that kind of ability to your LLMs, we need to provide like as much as information as part of your description, so that LLM can easily understand like what tool needs to be called. So this is a very important, like, name and then description. And then as part of the parameters, like, you need to define like what kind of parameters your function or your method or your API is taking to work on or get the data. For example, if you take the weather information, for us location is very important. We are taking a location as an input parameter, and then unit also important, but which is optional parameter. So that's why, like, this specific function or a method required two parameters. One is like a location and then unit. We need to mention like what kind of a type, data type, and then also we need to provide the description for your parameters, properties, such a way like LLMs can easily understand this specific tool. So this is like a basic definition of the tool in LLMs. If you take any tools, any LLMs, right, even OpenAI or like Anthropic models or Ollama, Llama 3.2, anything, right? Basically the key point is you need to define your tool information. So LLMs will consume this data, understand what are the tools you are providing as part of the tool definition. Now we define the tools for the LLMs, right? Now important thing is we need to implement the real implementation for your get weather, right? That's we will doing our favorite programming languages, whether it is a Python or Java, wherever it is. That's a real implementation, right? For example, if you look at the get weather here this is where we are directly connecting the external weather API. From the external weather API, we are able to get the response from the external system. So this is what the beauty of the tool in the LLMs. Now once we get the response, as part of the raw JSON or like a JSON format. But when you ask the LLMs, it is able to beautifully display this data rather than the normal JSON format. So the key things like you need to define your tool as a tools array. The tools array is nothing but like a multiple tools you can define. So this is like array of JSON object, and then you need to implement the real implementation like a programmatically you need to implement a specific tool. For example, here get weather, we are connecting to the weather API. Now let's look at the complete example using the Ollama local models, right? So why I'm choosing Ollama local models, right? Which is very easy to you can deploy in your local. So we can experience the power of the tools by executing the some of the. So like I'm choosing the Ollama here. So now let's get into the simple example or use case, right? So in this use case, I'm demonstrating right how to get the real-time stock price. So here is important thing like we need to define a tool, and then we need to implement a function or a method such as it should go to the any of the kind of a stock APIs to get the real-time price, right? So here like we are choosing the Yahoo Finance as a real-time Python library to get the stock information. We are already using the Ollama, so I'm importing the Ollama as part of Python packs program. So now like the key thing is like you need to define a tool, right? So type is a function. As part of the function, you need to provide the name of your tool, and then you have to give as much as information about the tool, that is called a description. Now as part of the parameters to get the stock real-time data, we need to pass a stock ticker or stock symbol. So that's why I need a property called a ticker property, that is a string. We need to provide the description, what is the description of this ticker. For example of Apple, Tesla, we need to provide as much as information as part of the description. So now something to get this tool working, right, we need to pass the ticker is a required parameter, so we need to mention the required parameters here. This is a simple tool definition. We need to put it as part of the array of tools. So once we define the tool as a JSON array, now we need to implement this specific tool or function, right? Now this is where real magic happens. So here we are going to connect to the Yahoo Finance, and then we pass the ticker to Yahoo Finance ticker, and then we get the stock information here, historical, what is the price of the stock data and all. So finally, like it will once it connects the data, it will return some set of attributes like a ticker, company name, price, change. This is like a Yahoo original response, right? So from where like the response Yahoo response will give a lot of other attributes as well, but some more information we are interested, so we are returning those specific attributes. For example, ticker, company name, price, volume, market cap, daily high, daily low. These are the information we are giving as part of the response. This is the real implementation of your get stock price, right? So now we have defined your tool as part of the tools, and then we implemented the real method. Now the magic happen in the LLMs to how to connect to these tools, right? So if you look at Ollama Python package, we already know that if you go through my previous series, you can understand like how to work with the Ollama Python SDK, right? So as part of the Python SDK, we have a chat method. You need to choose like what kind of model you have to use. So that's like what are the model you're running in your local. And then messages, we need to provide the user query here along with the role. And then this is a very important thing to how to call the tools, right? We need to pass the list of tools as a tools parameter. So this is what the function call or tool calling. Now what will happen, right? Now the LLM pick the user question or user prompt. Then as part of the user prompt, it will understand that it is the user is asking for the stock price. So as part of the tool definition, we already mentioned the stock related description, right? Immediately it will go and call the get stock price tool, so that it will return this set of information. So that is what happening as part of the LLM. So LLMs will smart enough to decide to call the tools based on the user intent. User intent means user prompt. So if you are not asking for the stock related any of the thing, then it won't call your tools, because our tool definition only is specific to stock related tools, right? So that if anything it sees like a stock related, then it will go and call the specific set of tools defined as part of your tools definition. So that's the beauty of LLMs. Now like it will go and then execute that like a tool, then it fetch the data, and then finally it will get the response, and then we'll print the response, right? The example output, like, so basically like the user is asking the this question, like what is the current stock price of the Tesla. The moment it sees the user intent here is asking for the stock, and it will smart enough to understand that it is calling the tools, then it will go and call the specific tool. It means like a get stock price tool or tool, and then it will get the response from the original JSON response here. For example, it will go and call the specific tool, and then it will get the raw response here. But AI response is like will beautify the response rather than it will simply display the JSON format. It is able to beautify the response. On top of it, you can ask some more questions. Will provide the further details on this. So this is what about the tools calling or function calling. This is one of the kind of a powerful concept in AI to work or connect to your external tools or APIs to get the up-to-date info. So key points here, like we are using the Yahoo Finance to as part of the tool calling. So, LLMs automatically detect when to call the stock price function, because that's what we define in the tools definition, and then LLMs is smart enough to understand that one. So real-time data fetch means like we are going to fetch the real-time data is a weather or it's a stock related data, and then result is like a simple JSON format, but LLMs is able to format very beautifully, and then these tools can extend it to anything, because as I said, like it can work on your organization specific needs. It may be connect to your database, maybe connect to your documenting system, maybe connecting to any of the other external tools to provide the answer or information specific to your organization needs. So these are the key takeaways we can consider for this session. So next step is like we are going to get some sample working program to interact with some external tools and get the up-to-date information. So maybe as part of Art Assistant, going to connect with some of the external tools to provide the your organization specific or your private data. So thank you guys. This is what the today's session. Hope you are enjoying the session. Come back with the next one.